So hello fellow Earthlings. This is Earthling 6455463728. And what if Donald Trump is trying to wreck the US so that he can declare some kind of state of emergency, call off the election, and stay president? The reason why I thought this might be a possibility is because the number of coronavirus cases in the US is increasing at a very steep rate, and the number of deaths is beginning to follow. Yes, the different states have begun to roll back their reopenings, and that hopefully should reduce the number of cases that are in the US, but it may not. I recall seeing somebody in Florida, a health professional in Florida, saying that while that person is being overwhelmed by the number of cases coming into the hospital, on the way to work and the way back, they see people just not social distancing, seeming to not care about the crisis that she's seeing looming. And in spite of all this, in spite of all these ever-increasing cases, what we see is Mr. Donald Trump is encouraging the states to open up their schools, to open up the economy, for people not to wear face masks. He barely wore one on one occasion, I think. I don't know that he's continuing to do that. And this is in the face of what seems like a really horrible crisis forming. And this is in the summer. This is when he was saying that things are going to get better, that it was going to disappear. In the coming fall and winter, that's when the flu and communicable diseases, I think, in the whole, will get better, will get worse, sorry. People are going to be in close proximity to each other in enclosed, warm spaces. So if they aren't, well, it's difficult to social distance in close proximity to each other in enclosed spaces. I mean, even with masks, that for some reason people are going to feel more comfortable not wearing in close proximity in enclosed spaces. It seems like this is a horrible place to jump off from, and the stage is set for things to get even worse than they are. So maybe it's a plan to, I'm not sure, maybe it's a plan to keep himself in the presidency by canceling the election, because things are going to be nightmarish at that point. Then I really thought about it, and based on his past actions, I realized that Mr. Trump doesn't do 4-dimensional chess, 3-dimensional chess. He just thinks in one level at a time. It's not thinking 4 or 5 moves ahead. He has always been triumphantly stating that this economy is the best economy ever. And most of us know that the economy, it's the economy, stupid, is what normally keeps a president in power. And schools and, just the businesses that make up the economy, keeping them going is what keeps people in jobs, keeps them employed, and makes them happy to keep the administration that's in power in power. So he's just oblivious to the fact that I was just reading an article about Sweden, And Sweden's whole idea was that they weren't going to shut down the economy. They were going to trust people to do the right thing, and they weren't going to lock down. So the results are in. Sweden has had 5,000 deaths. So it's a huge difference. People in the countries around Sweden, seeing their hundreds of deaths compared to Sweden's 5,000 deaths, they are not letting Swedes come into their country. And Sweden's still like, yeah, this was a good idea. In spite of the deaths, we should have tried to do something else, maybe, but I think we did okay. So how about the economy? The economy is in the same situation as everybody else's who had a lockdown. So they have nothing. They have a lot more deaths, and it didn't work out how they thought it would work out. If Mr. Trump was a different person, and he was someone who read extensively all of the information that was put in front of him to try to make a good decision, we might say that, okay, he would see this and realize, okay, we need to reverse course and change things up. Unfortunately, there's two problems with that. One, that he's not a reverse course kind of person unless his supporters, his base, as they say, is against something. Then he'll, spin around and stop that. But if they aren't, then he's just going to go full speed ahead, regardless of what the problems might be. And in this case, the problems are going to be thousands and thousands of people who are going to die, who are dying every day. The number of deaths in the US is at about 1,000 right now. And based on the number of cases that are out there and the length of time that it takes between getting the virus and then subsequently succumbing to it, there is a backlog. There is a significant backlog of people who are going to die, even if things were to reverse on a dime right now. So he's not somebody who plays three-dimensional chess. This is just about the economy. And in spite of this, what we've seen in Sweden, he's not going to save the economy by bringing people out there. It's just going to get people killed. But in spite of that, given the way that he's opposing mail-in ballots, I can't rule out the idea that even if it wasn't his intention to try to pull something by creating mayhem in the US, since there is going to be mayhem, since there already is mayhem in the US, I can't say that he's not going to try to take advantage of the opportunity by suggesting that the election be called off. That can't be ruled out. And, it's similar to the virus on the whole. This is what they said at the beginning. They said that it's really hard to differentiate between a virus that was not going to cause much of a problem and one that would definitely have caused a problem if you hadn't done what was the right thing to do. And I guess it's going to be really hard for a lot of people to differentiate between the fact that Mr. Trump had no idea what he was doing and the fact that it might seem that he knew what he was doing based on the fact that he takes advantage of the situation, the increased crisis and mayhem that is undoubtedly coming, that is undoubtedly here. I mean, he's actually said that maybe they should try that dictatorship thing in the US. He's actually let that crap pass his lips. It's insane, but his election has proved that life is insane. Anyway, you can wish me lucks, guys. That's LUCSS. You can like or unlike. You can comment, subscribe, and or share. And of course, it'll make me sad, but you can do nothing. Peace.